Hello everyone, welcome back to Oni-chan. Today we're going to watch a great movie about reincarnation. This young man's name is Subaru. He is a true otaku, and one day while shopping at the supermarket, suddenly, a mysterious force summoned Subaru to another world full of demi-humans, which really surprised him. But Subaru quickly realized he had been reincarnated without warning. At that moment, Subaru was very angry in an alleyway. It's reincarnation, but it's really weird. It's not as cool as in anime. And he doesn't have any special powers either. When he tried to buy fruit, he got kicked out because his money wasn't usable. He even accidentally entered the women's restroom and got slapped into a river. All he had left was his phone and some supermarket food. Suddenly, a group of 3 people appeared. They tried to attack Subaru. Then a lowly girl suddenly ran up. He thought she was going to save him. But surprisingly, the lowly girl ran away. At that moment, he thought maybe fighting would awaken his hero powers. So Subaru immediately switched to attack mode and tried to fight them all. But when one of them pulled out a weapon, he got scared, and they began to beat up Subaru mercilessly. Suddenly, a white-haired girl appeared. She saw Subaru being bullied, so she attacked them right away, which scared the attackers and made them run away. When Subaru came to, he saw a cat. At that moment, the girl asked Subaru about the lowly girl, in order to retrieve her stolen badge. Wanting to repay the girl, Subaru promised to help her, so the two of them searched everywhere. But they still couldn't find the girl. While resting, Subaru suddenly remembered he hadn't asked the girl for her information, so she told him. The cat's name is Pack, and her name is Satella. Just then, they came across a lost child. Satella immediately offered to help the little girl, so Subaru performed a magic trick for her, to cheer her up and help her find her mother. After that, the two continued searching for the lowly girl. Satella took Subaru to the fruit vendor's shop, because that's where her badge was stolen. The shop owner was trying to kick them out since neither of them had money. But then the lost child returned. So the shopkeeper realized they had helped his daughter. He quickly gave them directions to the slums to find a girl named Felt. By this time, Pack was exhausted, since he's a spirit who can only work for 8 hours. So Pack went back to rest. Seeing Satella using her spirit magic to search for Felt made Subaru's heart skip a beat. By nightfall, the two found the house of an old man named Ram, who specializes in buying stolen goods from Felt. Subaru entered the house to check things out. He suddenly saw that the old man had been killed. While he was in shock, he was also attacked. Suddenly, Satella entered the room, and she, too, was killed right in front of Subaru. As Subaru was trying to save Satella, he was suddenly transported back to the fruit vendor's shop. He noticed his wounds were gone, which made him feel very strange. While looking for Satella, he suddenly ran into those same guys again. Realizing he didn't have much time, Subaru immediately attacked them. He managed to arrive before the incident happened. To his surprise, the old man was still alive and well, and even chatting and laughing happily. Later in the afternoon, still feeling weird about everything, Felt suddenly showed up to sell Satella's badge to the old man. Since Subaru didn't have any money, he offered his phone to Felt as a trade. He even took a photo of the two of them. Ram examined the brick and considered it very valuable. But Felt still refused to trade it, because she had another buyer coming to purchase the badge. Suddenly, that lady also arrived. Subaru and the lady started competing to buy the badge, but since she had less money, Subaru won. Then suddenly, Subaru realized something. Elsa was the one who had attacked him. When that hag was about to take them all down, Ram stepped in to block that hag. Unexpectedly, that hag was too fast and defeated the old man, which made Felt furious. She immediately rushed in to attack the hag, but she too was taken down by the hag. At that point, only Subaru was left, so he charged in right away, thinking he had dodged the attack. But unexpectedly, the hag slashed his stomach. As Subaru realized he was about to die, he was once again sent back to the fruit vendor's shop. He called out Satella's name upon arrival, but to his surprise, she didn't recognize him, and even scolded him for calling her by the name of the jealous witch. A forbidden name in this world, which shocked Subaru deeply, and made him realize that Satella was just a fake name she used. Suddenly, Felt ran in and stole the badge. Subaru chased after both of them, but ended up encountering those guys again. which annoyed him, and he tried to walk away. But they stabbed him, killing him again, and he returned once more to the fruit vendor's shop. At this point, Subaru finally realized that he had the power to return to a starting point after dying. Just like a video game, where dying lets you retry. But the people around him remembered nothing about him. And if he did nothing, Elsa would kill everyone again. So he decided to take action. Subaru encountered the same group once more. But this time, he didn't fight them. Instead, he screamed loudly, because he knew there were guards nearby. Suddenly, a young man appeared. His name was Reinhard, the sword saint of the kingdom. He immediately scared the thugs away. At that moment, Subaru felt Reinhard was very friendly and kind-hearted. When Subaru went to Felt's house, she thought he was trying to steal from her. But in the end, Subaru managed to explain himself and brought Felt to Rom's shop to make the trade. Subaru wanted Felt to trade with him right away, but that only made her suspicious. So Subaru had to tell Felt that he wanted to return the badge to its rightful owner, and begged her to trade it to him. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. Thinking it was Elsa, they were surprised to see the white-haired girl instead. When she was about to attack Felt, Subaru stepped in and calmed them both down. Suddenly, Elsa launched a sneak attack on the girl. But thanks to Pac, the attack was blocked. Pac started fighting the hag. But unexpectedly, the hag easily dodged all their attacks. Suddenly, Pac ran out of mana and disappeared, giving Elsa the chance to relentlessly attack the girl. Rom rushed in to help, but he too was defeated by the hag. Subaru began to panic, not wanting to feel the pain of death again. When the hag attacked Felt, Subaru immediately jumped in to save her and told Felt to run away. Together, they helped Felt escape outside. At this moment, Subaru was determined to take down that girl. But that hag was too fast and easily overpowered Subaru. Meanwhile, Felt was trying to find someone to help. Unexpectedly, she ran into Reinhard. Just when she thought she would die, Reinhard suddenly appeared. At that moment, Reinhard realized Elsa was a dangerous assassin known as the Bowel Hunter. That hag was also very happy to meet Reinhard, the sword saint of the kingdom. So, that hag immediately attacked Reinhard. But he easily blocked it. Since Reinhard didn't want the battle to end too quickly, he chose not to use his legendary sword. Instead, he picked up a random sword nearby. No matter how much that hag attacked, she couldn't inflict any damage on Reinhard. After the white-haired girl finished healing Rom, Reinhard decided to end the battle. And with that, he blew away the entire house. Just when they thought everything was over, that hag turned out to still be alive and launched a surprise attack on the white-haired girl. Subaru immediately rushed in to block her. Realizing things weren't going her way, the hag quickly retreated. At this moment, Subaru was happy to be the hero saving the damsel in distress. And finally, Subaru learned the girl's real name was Emilia. But unexpectedly, Elsa's earlier attack had slashed Subaru's stomach. Emilia immediately began healing him. When Felt returned the insignia to Emilia, Reinhard suddenly noticed something about Felt. So he immediately took her with him. And he told Emilia that he would take care of them. Just when Subaru thought he'd have to start everything over again, he unexpectedly woke up in a mansion, and saw that his wound had completely disappeared. While exploring the house, he accidentally walked into the room of a girl named Beatrice, which annoyed her, so she put Subaru back to sleep. When he woke up again, Subaru saw two cute maids, named Rem and Ram, but they thought this guy was a pervert. At that moment, Emilia thanked him for helping her. Since he had recovered, Subaru and Emilia went outside to exercise. Suddenly, Rem and Ram came in to announce that Lord Roswaal had returned. So they all went to have breakfast with him. There, Roswaal told Subaru that the kingdom of Lugnica was in chaos because it currently had no king. So they were holding an election, and Emilia was one of the candidates to become the next ruler. With the support of Lord Roswaal, the most powerful magic user in the kingdom, and this insignia was the proof that she was a candidate, which surprised Subaru. At that moment, since Subaru wanted to keep helping Emilia, he asked Roswaal to hire him to work at the mansion. So Rem and Ram started helping Subaru learn about the mansion. When he ran into Beatrice again, she kicked him out, but when he came back, she had vanished. So Ram told Subaru that Beatrice had the power to teleport the library to other rooms. So it was very hard to find her. But unexpectedly, Subaru was able to find Beatrice easily, which surprised her. At that point, Puck and Ram told Subaru that Beatrice was the guardian of the forbidden library in Roswaal's mansion. Then Ram continued guiding Subaru through the work around the mansion, from cooking, cleaning the floors, washing dishes, to doing the laundry. That night, Roswaal told Rem to keep observing Subaru, because they still suspected he might be a spy from one of the other candidates. While Subaru was having a heartfelt conversation with Emilia, she noticed the wounds on his hands, and offered to heal him. But Subaru refused, saying they were proof of his hard work. Seeing how beautiful Emilia was, Subaru flirted with her and asked her to go on a date in town the next day. And she agreed, which made him very happy. But unexpectedly, the next morning, he found Rem and Ram standing in front of him, looking confused, and all the wounds on his hands had vanished. Seeing that Rem and Ram didn't remember him, he immediately realized everything had been reset, which caused Subaru great pain. So he ran to Beatrice's room to hide. While thinking about why he had been reset, Beatrice unexpectedly still recognized him, which surprised Subaru, even though she still didn't like him much. But she helped Subaru calm down, and he began searching for the cause. So Subaru went to find Emilia, and she didn't remember anything about their promised date. So Subaru decided to redo everything once again. At this point, Subaru realized things weren't too different from before, but he felt a bit uncomfortable with Roswaal. So Roswaal asked if he had gotten closer to Ram and Rem yet. Although Ram wasn't as good at her job as Rem, Ram was friendlier and more approachable than Rem, so the two of them balanced each other out. That night, Ram came to Subaru's room to teach him how to read and write the language of this world. But unexpectedly, after teaching just a little, Ram fell asleep. The next day, while Subaru was cleaning the bath, Rem came to help him, because she felt he was just as Emilia had described. Subaru had no ambition, so she promised to cut his hair. Then the two of them went to a nearby town to buy groceries. While playing with a group of kids, Subaru was unexpectedly bitten on the hand by a dog, which made Rem worry. When the two returned home, Subaru, seeing how much Rem cared about his studies, thought she was really cute. That night, since Rem and Ram were both busy, Emilia came to tutor Subaru instead. With a beauty like her standing next to him, how could he concentrate? So Subaru asked Emilia to go on a date with him in town the next day. Even though she didn't know what a date was, Emilia still agreed to go with Subaru, which made him very happy. At this point, afraid everything would reset again, Subaru tried his best not to fall asleep. Suddenly, he started having trouble breathing. While trying to find someone to help, he was unexpectedly attacked and lost an arm, which caused him immense pain. But just as he heard the sound of a chain, he died. When he woke up again, Subaru was terrified, which also frightened Rem and Ram, but he quickly pulled himself together. At that moment, Subaru realized someone inside the mansion was targeting him. Meanwhile, Beatrice was very annoyed, so she kicked Subaru out, and he landed in a manure pit right in front of Emilia. But this time, Subaru decided to gather more information about the one who attacked him. So he chose not to work this time, but instead wanted to be a freeloading guest. However, this time, neither Rem nor Ram acted close to him. So Subaru went to Beatrice to ask if there was any kind of magic that caused people to have difficulty breathing. Beatrice told him it wasn't magic, it was a weakening curse. But when he found out she was actually the one who healed the wound on his stomach last time, not Emilia, he accused her of bluffing, so she kicked him out again. At this point, Subaru realized the attacker had two characteristics: a weakening curse and chains. The next day was the day he would be attacked. So the next morning, Subaru told everyone he was leaving the mansion. At this point, he went to a nearby mountain to observe. Suddenly, in the afternoon, Subaru was attacked, so Subaru began to fight back. But little did he know, this time he discovered that the one who had been killing him repeatedly was Rem. At that moment, Subaru realized that Rem had never trusted him. While Subaru was trying to escape, he was unexpectedly struck by Rem and lost a leg. Rem then interrogated him about which candidate he was spying for. But no matter how much Rem tortured Subaru, he only said he was doing it for Emilia. This made her angry, as Subaru had the scent of a jealous witch on him. when he learned that both Rem and Ram had been pretending to be friendly with him. Subaru was heartbroken, and Rem continued to kill Subaru. The fourth time Subaru woke up, he saw Rem and Ram in front of him, which terrified him, so Emilia immediately went to find Subaru. At that moment, when Subaru was about to tell Emilia about his ability to return from death, suddenly, a hand squeezed his heart, which made Subaru extremely frightened. So Subaru sent Emilia away. At that moment, Subaru realized he could not let anyone know about this ability. Then Beatrice came to Subaru and told him he smelled strongly of a jealous witch, because he was someone she treated especially. Suddenly, Subaru asked Beatrice to protect him for the next 2 days. Although she was very annoyed, Beatrice agreed to form a contract with Subaru. Just when he thought he was safe, Emilia unexpectedly came to Subaru and informed him that Rem had died. This shocked Subaru when he found out that Rem had fallen victim to the weakening curse. He realized that Rem was not the one who had used the curse on him. At that moment, everyone thought Subaru was involved in Rem's death, but he couldn't explain to them because of Satella's curse. Suddenly, Ram and Roswaal attacked Subaru, realizing he knew something, but Subaru was protected by Beatrice, so he immediately ran away. At this point, Subaru felt hopeless, so he decided to jump into the abyss to reset everything. But Subaru was afraid that if he died this time, he wouldn't be able to come back. By the afternoon, Beatrice found Subaru and told him that the bond between Rem and Ram could never be broken. Losing one would cause the other unbearable pain. Suddenly, Subaru realized, when he was injured, Rem and Ram had always been there, holding his hand and healing him. So he decided to reset everything and make them trust him. When Ram caught up, Subaru told her that he loved both of them and jumped into the abyss. When Subaru woke up again, he was happy to see Rem and Ram in front of him. So he asked to work at the mansion again, and tried his best to do everything well, to earn their trust. At this point, Pak had taught Subaru a spell called Shamat. It was meant to obscure the enemy's vision, but unexpectedly, this technique was very exhausting. Meanwhile, Ram and Rem were always watching Subaru. At this moment, Subaru had gone to find Beatrice to ask about how to break the spell. And she even told Subaru that the jealous witch Satella was the most dangerous person in this world. She alone had absorbed 6 other great witches and destroyed half of this world. Since they couldn't kill her, the dragon, the first-generation holy sword, and the wise men sealed her away. However, her appearance was very similar to Emilia, and she was also part elf. The next day, Subaru had been trying his best to work hard to win Rem's favor. When Emilia saw Subaru always having to act energetic to make everyone happy, she pulled Subaru into her room, letting him lie on her lap. Emilia realized Subaru was very tired, which made Subaru cry, because he had always been trying and putting in a lot of effort. With things he couldn't tell anyone, Subaru always wanted everything to get better, because he cherished everyone here. At this point, Rem also saw this, and Emilia told Rem that Subaru was truly a good person. So the next morning, Subaru felt better, but he was embarrassed when facing Emilia, because he had been crying and had snot and tears all over the corner of his sleeve. At this moment, Subaru, along with Rem and Ram, went to the village to buy food, because he knew the person who used the spell had killed Rem in this village. Subaru tried to find a way for all the villagers to touch him. When Subaru was teasing the dog, he was bitten again. By the time they returned to the mansion, Roswaal had work to do and left. So Subaru immediately went to find Beatrice, asking her to help him find the place where the spell had been engraved. Suddenly, Subaru realized that the dog was the one who had used the spell. Knowing that the children were in danger, he asked Rem and Ram to help him. So Ram decided to send Rem with Subaru, while she would stay behind to protect Emilia. At this point, Subaru and Rem ran to the village. When they arrived, Rem realized that the creatures were magical beasts created by witches. But when Rem suggested waiting for Roswaal to return to handle things, Subaru remained determined to save the children, as it would be too late otherwise. He then shared all the dreams of the children with Rem, which made Rem begin to trust Subaru and decide to go with him to save the children. When the two of them reached a grassy field, they saw the children who had fallen under the weakening spell. Rem immediately started treating the children. Subaru realized there was still one girl who had been taken by the magical beasts. So he decided to continue deeper into the forest. But Rem pulled him back, warning that he would be in danger. Subaru promised Rem that he would return. So Rem trusted Subaru. At this point, Subaru found the girl, but unexpectedly, a magical beast spotted him. It attacked Subaru, but he managed to defeat it. Suddenly, a whole pack of magical beasts appeared. Just when Subaru thought he was going to die, Rem rushed in time to stop the magical beasts. She cleared the path to help Subaru escape. Suddenly, the magical beast dog appeared and caused an earthquake that attacked both of them. But Rem managed to push Subaru out of the way, which caused her to suffer severe injuries. When the magical beasts surrounded them, unexpectedly, Rem began to change, and she crazily began to destroy the magical beasts, which frightened Subaru. Suddenly, Subaru rushed to save Rem, causing her to be surprised and regain her composure. After Subaru passed out, Rem carried him back to the village. When he woke up, Subaru saw Emilia sleeping next to his bed. Then Pac informed Subaru that the children were safe. When Subaru stepped outside, Rem shoved a potato into his mouth. Subaru then ran off to check on the children. After that, he met Beatrice, and she told Subaru that the spell he was under had not been completely lifted yet. So in half an hour, he would die. Seeing Subaru unafraid of death surprised Beatrice. Suddenly, Subaru realized that Rem was not there. So Rem told Subaru that Rem had gone into the forest alone to kill the magical beast and save Subaru. Subaru and Rem immediately went into the forest. At this point, Rem told Subaru that, "I am different from Rem because she is a demon without horns." The horns help the demon race increase their combat strength. Most demons are born with 2 horns. So they always considered twins with only 1 horn to be a disgrace to their clan. But unexpectedly, from a young age, Rem's strength was evident, and it changed the whole clan's view. Rem, however, was different. She wasn't as skilled as her sister. So she began to feel self-pity. But Rem really cared for and loved her little sister. Then one day, their village was attacked, and only Rem and Ram survived. Rem tried her best to protect her sister. But unexpectedly, they cut off Ram's horn. Though Roswaal arrived just in time to save them, Rem could no longer use her horn. So, the two of them were brought to work at the mansion. From that point on, Rem always tried to work hard to make up for her sister. At this point, Subaru thought of a way to find Rem. So he activated Satella's curse. Suddenly, Ram sensed that many magical beasts were heading this way. Subaru then explained to Ram that the magical beasts were following the witch's scent on him. So Rem would also be drawn here. But unexpectedly, when the magical beasts appeared, Subaru had to carry Ram under his arm and run away, because she didn't have enough strength to fight. When both of them were surrounded by the magical beasts, Rem arrived just in time. But unexpectedly, she lost control, continuously attacking Subaru and the magical beasts. At this point, Ram told Subaru that, if he could break the horn on Rem's head, she would return to normal. So Subaru threw Ram towards Rem, and immediately ran to break the horn. But unexpectedly, he missed the strike. Suddenly, the small dog attacked him, helping Subaru fly high. Taking advantage of this, he broke Rem's horn. At this point, both of them were trying to get Rem out of the forest. While they were hiding from the magical beasts, Rem felt guilty because she hadn't saved Subaru last time, due to the witch's scent on him. But unexpectedly, Subaru headbutted her and scolded her, calling her stupid for always doing everything alone. At this point, they were surrounded by magical beasts again. So Subaru took the chance to flirt with Rem a little, then ran out to lure the magical beasts, allowing Ram to escape with Rem. Subaru realized that everything would end if he dealt with the small dog. But it was no longer small. So Subaru used Shamat to stab his sword into its neck. Thinking he had defeated it, he was surprised when it continued to attack him. But Roswaal appeared just in time to save him. At that point, Roswaal began to trust Subaru. Rem was very happy because Subaru was still safe. The next morning, when Subaru woke up, he found Rem sitting next to his bed, holding his hand. Seeing Rem still comparing herself to her sister. So Subaru said, "You can do many things even better than Ram, and your chest is even bigger than hers. And you are the one who has always been there for me." This made Rem fall for Subaru's charm, which made her happy. That evening, Subaru continued to flirt with Emilia, inviting her to go on a date with him. At this point, the two of them were in the village, handing out good behavior cards to the children. But when they returned to the mansion, Emilia heard the news that she had to go to the capital to prepare for the election campaign. So Subaru used milk tea to lure Wilhelm and Felix to get more information about the campaign. When they arrived in the capital, Emilia said that she only brought Subaru there to have Felix treat his injuries from the battle with the magical beasts. So she didn't want Subaru to get involved in the election. Suddenly, a young man appeared, and Subaru immediately sensed that this guy was trying to steal his girl, which made the young man feel the heat without eating chili. At this moment, when Subaru was left outside by Emilia, he encountered a group of rowdy kindergarten bullies picking on a young lady. Thinking he was about to be a hero saving a damsel in distress, he was unexpectedly slammed against the wall by the young lady. This made the young man feel the heat again, because this girl was even more stuck up. Suddenly, Mr. Rom appeared, and the bullies immediately ran off. Upon realizing that Mr. Rom was still looking for Felt, Subaru told him that Felt had been taken by Reinhard. Suddenly, Emilia appeared with another young man, which made Subaru even more upset. But this young man was only there to find his younger sister. So Subaru left, giving her an apple. The next morning, Subaru was once again left at home by Emilia, and she asked Rem to supervise him. But knowing Subaru wanted to follow Emilia, Rem let him leave. When the young man took a taxi, he unexpectedly ran into this young lady. Subaru then realized that her name was Priscilla, and she was also a candidate to become the king. When Subaru entered the palace, Emilia was surprised to see him, and scolded him for not listening to her. At this point, Subaru also met Reinhard and Felix, and Reinhard told Subaru that Felix was a boy. Otherwise, the young man would have almost fallen into a trap. While the four candidates were still wondering why they had been summoned, Reinhard stepped forward, saying that Felt was the final candidate who could become the king. Unexpectedly, Felt was frustrated with Reinhard for making her wear such a dress, and was also happy to see Subaru again. When everyone saw the glowing badge on Felt's hand, they believed that Felt was the one chosen last. So all the candidates and knights gathered, but they criticized Felt as a girl from the slums. Emilia, on the other hand, is a half-elf who is just like the jealous witch. This made Subaru angry and forced them to apologize to her. He then declared that he was Emilia's knight. Suddenly, Julius stepped forward and said Subaru was insulting all the knights of the kingdom by daring to declare himself a knight. This made him very frustrated. But Emilia immediately stopped Subaru and said that Subaru was not her subordinate. So, he was kicked out. Suddenly, Mr. Rom also appeared and took Felt away. But he was caught again. Even though Felt didn't want to participate in the election, she had to agree to participate because she saved Mr. Rom. So, they let him go. Unexpectedly, Felt declared she hated this kingdom and would make it darker than before. Meanwhile, Subaru was soloing with Julius and constantly getting beaten up, which made Emilia very worried. So, he was defeated. When he regained consciousness, Emilia was very angry because Subaru had messed everything up. He didn't even listen to Emilia. His wounds hadn't even healed, yet he went to fight. Emilia also didn't understand why Subaru always wanted to help her, seeing that Emilia had no memory of ever saving him. Subaru intended to explain everything, but was stopped by the curse, which made him unable to explain anything further. At this point, because neither of them could understand each other, this caused Subaru to lose control. She said that she owed him a lot, because he was always the one solving everything. So, she would repay Subaru completely, and they would end things here. Emilia then returned to Roswaal's mansion. The next day, Subaru went to Cruz's mansion to ask Felix to treat his wounds, and practiced swordsmanship with Wilhelm, but he was still very angry about Emilia's words. In the afternoon, when Subaru wondered why Rem was still by his side, she said that, even though no one ordered her to, she would still stay here. The next day, the fruit vendor uncle was chatting with Subaru about the election, while asking Rem to watch the shop for him. At that moment, the uncle said that no one would support Emilia, because she was a half-elf, just like the witch. This made Subaru angry, and he realized his mistake. By evening, he and Cruz had a heart-to-heart talk about how Felix treated his wounds. Cruz also told Subaru to be more positive, to quickly reconcile with Emilia, so that he could be worthy of being their rival. This helped Subaru realize what he could do. The next morning, when Subaru was practicing with Wilhelm, Rem informed Subaru. Through her connection with Ram, she sensed that the mansion was in danger. Subaru immediately realized that this was his chance to return to Emilia's side. So, Subaru decided to return to the mansion. But Cruz said that treating Subaru's wounds was only a pact with Emilia. If Subaru left, he would officially become their rival. This made Subaru angry because he had always thought of them as his friends. So, Subaru was determined to leave. At this point, knowing that it would take 2 days to return, they both decided to rest at an inn that night. Suddenly, Rem came looking for Subaru. Since Subaru knew Rem was still worried about the mansion, he told her that he would definitely do something about it. Seeing that Rem trusted him made Subaru feel embarrassed. So, Rem leaned against Subaru's back and said that he was the best person. Suddenly, Subaru lost consciousness. When he regained consciousness in the morning, he discovered that Rem had left. At that moment, Subaru learned that Rem had returned to the mansion on her own, because she didn't want Subaru to face danger. But fortunately, he found a merchant named Otto. So he asked Otto to take him back to the mansion. Unexpectedly, the Earth Dragon sensed danger and refused to continue. So, Subaru ran ahead on his own. Suddenly, he was surrounded by a group of crazies who seemed to have escaped from a prison. But they politely greeted Subaru before leaving. In the morning, when he arrived at the village, he discovered that everyone had been killed. And when he returned to the mansion, he found that Rem had died. This caused Subaru to be shocked. At that moment, he realized that everyone in the mansion was dead. Subaru was very confused. But when he entered a room that was frozen, hoping to find Emilia, unexpectedly, Subaru was also frozen and turned to ice. So, he was reset when he met the fruit vendor uncle. When Subaru saw Rem, he was very happy, but he didn't expect that she had gone mad. This condition was something Felix couldn't even fix. So, Rem decided to take Subaru back to the mansion. Suddenly, Cruz asked Rem why she cared so much about Subaru. She replied that it was because he was very special. On their way, Rem had always been taking care of and worrying about Subaru, even though she knew she couldn't have him all to herself. The next morning, when Rem sensed that the mansion was in danger, suddenly, they were attacked. At this moment, Rem realized that they were part of the witch cult. Suddenly, they kidnapped Subaru. This made Rem very angry. Meanwhile, Subaru had encountered another crazy person. He introduced himself as the Archbishop of Sloth. His name was Petelgeuse. So, he began to envy Subaru, because Subaru was favored by the witch. But seeing that Subaru was a little less insane than he was, he started beating him up. Suddenly, Rem arrived, which made Petelgeuse very happy. Seeing him dare to touch Subaru made Rem go crazy and she immediately attacked them. Meanwhile, Petelgeuse was excited and captured Rem. Seeing that Rem was in danger, made Subaru regain consciousness. So, he broke Rem's arms, legs, and neck. Seeing Subaru angry, made Petelgeuse very happy. So, he left to prepare to attack the village and capture Emilia. At this moment, Subaru felt his own helplessness. But unexpectedly, Rem was still alive and tried to crawl towards Subaru to free him and said that she loved him. So, Subaru took Rem back. Seeing that everyone had been killed, made him hate Petelgeuse deeply. Suddenly, Pac appeared. He told Subaru to sleep with his daughter. And Subaru died. This time, when he regained consciousness, he saw Rem in front of him. So, Subaru immediately took Rem's hand and went for a walk with her. When they returned, Subaru told Cruz that in 3 days, Roswaal's mansion and the villagers would be attacked by the witch cult. And he wanted to ask Cruz for help. Seeing that there was no benefit for him in this matter, Cruz refused to help Subaru. Cruz even suspected Subaru was one of the witch cult members, because Subaru knew the exact time and location of their attack. This made Subaru very angry. Realizing that Subaru, at this moment, only wanted to kill the witch cult, without ever mentioning wanting to save Emilia, made Cruz absolutely refuse to help Subaru, which made Subaru feel uncomfortable. So he left. That night, Rem told Subaru that both Reinhard and Count Roswaal were not here, so they couldn't help them. So Subaru went to find Priscilla. Although Priscilla didn't want to help Subaru, she gave Subaru a chance. That Subaru had to lick her feet. Thinking about Emilia, Subaru agreed. So, he was immediately slapped by Priscilla. And this made her angry because Subaru didn't deserve her help. So, Priscilla told Al to take Subaru away from there. At this moment, Subaru, feeling very angry, accidentally ran into Anastasia and a girl named Mimi. So, the two of them had a heart-to-heart conversation. While Subaru thought Anastasia was very friendly with him, he then realized she was only using him to gather information about Cruz. This made Subaru angry, but when he was about to leave, Anastasia told Subaru that before negotiating with anyone, you must understand what the other person wants. At this moment, Subaru felt completely helpless because no one was helping him. So, he decided to return to the mansion and help Emilia escape. Suddenly, Subaru ran into Otto. That night, when he heard Otto had a large amount of unsellable oil, Subaru decided to buy all of it. In exchange, they would have to accompany him to the village to help all the villagers leave. At this moment, when everyone approached the great Lugio tree, Subaru noticed a giant whale beside him. It had blown everything away. At this point, Otto realized it was the white whale, one of the 3 great magical beasts created by the witch. Realizing Subaru was in danger, Rem decided to knock him unconscious. When Subaru regained consciousness, Otto told him that Rem had stayed behind to fight the white whale and helped both of them escape. Subaru immediately forced Otto to turn the carriage around, which frightened Otto to the point of wetting himself. And Otto told Subaru that the white whale was terrifying. Even a great army or the previous generation's holy sword had been killed by it. But what surprised Subaru even more at that moment was that Otto had completely forgotten who Rem was. Suddenly, the white whale reappeared, causing Otto to urinate blood. At this moment, when Subaru realized the white whale was chasing the witch's scent on him, Otto immediately shoved him off the carriage. As a result, the white whale caught Subaru. Thinking he was going to die, Subaru was surprised when the white whale left. Suddenly, Subaru saw Otto's carriage, and realized Otto had been killed by the witch's cult. Unexpectedly, the next morning, Subaru saw the children were still safe. So, he fainted. When he regained consciousness, Subaru discovered he had returned to the mansion. But he was very surprised because even Ram didn't recognize who Rem was. So Subaru went to find Emilia. Seeing Subaru in pain made Emilia very worried. When Subaru found out Emilia didn't remember anything about Rem, he decided to tell her everything. Then suddenly, Satella's curse appeared again, but strangely, Subaru didn't feel any pain. And instead, he discovered Emilia had died right in front of him, causing Subaru great anguish. By the afternoon, Beatrice had come to Subaru. So Subaru asked Beatrice to kill him. Beatrice then teleported Subaru to another place, because she couldn't lay a hand on him. Suddenly, the witch's cult appeared. At this moment, Petelgeuse was very surprised, because Subaru could see his invisible hand when he was about to touch Emilia. Then Pac appeared, attacking them. When he attacked Pac, Subaru's true form was revealed, and Pac killed Petelgeuse. At this moment, Pac said that because Emilia had died, he would destroy this world. So Pac also killed Subaru. This time, when Subaru returned, he was extremely exhausted, so he immediately led Rem to run away. At this moment, Subaru tried to act calm, and told Rem, "Let's escape together." This made Rem very confused. At this moment, Subaru felt his own helplessness. No matter how many times he tried to repeat things, he still couldn't do anything. So Subaru told Rem to leave here with him. Then Rem said, "I've also imagined living with you in a small house. We would work together and open a shop. After that, we would have children, both boys and girls. Being by Subaru's side, I would have a happy life." But Rem still refused to go with Subaru, which made Subaru unable to understand. If Rem left, she would lose the Subaru she knew now. Because the Subaru Rem knew would never give up, no matter how difficult things got. This made Subaru angry, because he felt like he wasn't perfect like Rem said. He felt that he didn't have the strength to do anything. So Rem said, "Subaru always helps people. I like it when you pat my head." I like your voice, your eyes, your fingers, even your face when you sleep. And I love you." But Subaru didn't understand why Rem loved him. "Because you are a hero in my eyes. You saved me when I forgot myself. Facing the magical beasts alone. Even if the whole world doesn't believe in you, I still believe in you and love you." This made Subaru feel better. And he said, "Rem, I love Emilia. And I want to be by her side to help her. So, can you help me?" Despite this, Rem still accepted to always help Subaru. This helped Subaru regain his confidence. And he said, "Get ready to see the coolest moment of the hero in your eyes. Let's start again from zero." That night, Subaru went to negotiate with Cruz, saying he would change the location and time of the white whale's appearance to make her an ally. He realized Cruz had been planning to defeat the white whale for a long time. But when he mentioned the white whale, Wilhelm became angry. Seeing that Cruz still didn't trust him, Subaru took out his phone and said that this would tell them the time and place of the white whale's appearance. But when Cruz still couldn't decide whether to form an alliance with Subaru, unexpectedly, Anastasia and Russell, whom Subaru had invited, walked in. Since both were merchants, the white whale often disrupted their business, so they also agreed to help Subaru. At this point, seeing Subaru's determination and careful preparation, Cruz agreed to form an alliance with him. Then Wilhelm told Subaru that his wife was the holy sword from the previous generation, and thanked Subaru for giving him the opportunity to take revenge for his wife. The next morning, many people gathered, preparing for the battle. At this point, Subaru met with Captain Ricardo, a subordinate of Anastasia, and many others came to Subaru as well, to thank him for giving him the opportunity to take revenge. Just like Wilhelm, everyone set off. At this moment, they set up camp at the base of the great Lugio tree to wait for the white whale's appearance. Meanwhile, Subaru and Rem went to find Wilhelm, to have a heart-to-heart conversation with him, knowing that he deeply loved his wife. When Wilhelm was still young, he always dreamed of becoming a holy sword. But one day, Wilhelm met a girl who loved flowers very much. Every day, Theresia would come to watch Wilhelm practice. On one occasion, when Wilhelm was in danger, Theresia appeared and helped him, which made Wilhelm feel like he was being laughed at, because Theresia was a holy sword but didn't like wielding a sword, while he had to practice daily. After a while, he challenged Theresia and defeated her. At that moment, Wilhelm realized that he had fallen deeply in love with Theresia, and promised that he would wield the sword for her and protect her. Just then, Subaru's phone began to ring, and the white whale appeared before them. Suddenly, Subaru and Rem immediately rushed in to start the battle, so everyone joined in the attack, and they used a flare to reveal the white whale's true form. As the white whale moved toward Cruz, Wilhelm ran over, repeatedly slashing at the white whale's body, unleashing all the hatred in his heart. So everyone put all their strength into killing the white whale, and Wilhelm rushed in to take out one of its eyes. But suddenly, the white whale began to transform and roared, making everyone cover their ears. It then released its mist, obscuring everyone's vision. Subaru could only hear the screams of the others. When Cruz dispersed the mist, many people had disappeared, and no one could remember them. Subaru realized that, if anyone was caught by the white whale's mist, everyone would forget their existence. Suddenly, the white whale roared again, causing everyone to lose consciousness and start clawing at themselves. But only Subaru was unaffected. So Subaru decided to use Satella's curse to lure the white whale to chase after him. Taking this opportunity, everyone attacked it together, and Wilhelm managed to sever one of the white whale's horns. But suddenly, it started fighting back and swallowed Wilhelm. To Subaru's surprise, he discovered there were 3 white whales in the sky. But Subaru was still determined not to give up, so Rem rushed in to attack it, preventing them from chasing Subaru. At this moment, when everyone was afraid, only Cruz still had the will to fight. Then the sisters, Mimi and her sibling, rushed up to support Subaru, and teamed up with Rem to rescue Wilhelm. But at this moment, Subaru realized that the white whale always high above was its true form. The other 2 were just its clones. So Subaru came up with a plan, asking Cruz to hold off the other 2 white whales, while he lured the true one to chase after him. When everyone was desperate, Cruz told them to look at Subaru, a person who, though the weakest, never gave up. This helped everyone regain their will to fight and attack the white whales. Meanwhile, Rem shot a large chunk of ice toward the true white whale. To help Subaru climb to its head, he then jumped down and activated the curse to lure the white whale to the ground. When Rem grabbed Subaru, everyone simultaneously attacked the Lugio tree, causing it to fall and crush the white whale. At this moment, Wilhelm stepped forward and delivered the final blow to the white whale, avenging his beloved wife. Everyone was overjoyed that they had finally won. At this point, Cruz thanked Subaru, saying that he was the hero who defeated the white whale. So Cruz and Wilhelm both acknowledged him. But defeating the white whale was just part of Subaru's plan. His true goal was still to rescue Emilia. So Cruz promised to continue supporting Subaru. Meanwhile, Rem, exhausted and drained of mana, could no longer follow Subaru. She was very worried about him. But Subaru promised that he would take care of everything. This reassured Rem, and she trusted Subaru. The next morning, many people stayed behind to help Subaru. But Julius also arrived, which made Subaru feel uncomfortable. So they all set off. But unexpectedly, Julius thanked Subaru for killing the white whale, and both of them apologized to each other, resolving their previous conflict. When they entered the forest, because Subaru carried the scent of a witch, they assumed Subaru was a bishop of the witch cult, and allowed Subaru to meet the crazy Petelgeuse. At this moment, Petelgeuse thought Subaru was an arrogant bishop, one of the 6 great bishops. But when he discovered Subaru didn't have the gospel book, he began to doubt Subaru. So Subaru pretended to search for the book, saying he had accidentally used it to wipe his backside, which made Petelgeuse angry and attack Subaru. Suddenly, the Mimi sisters appeared and destroyed their base, causing Petelgeuse to lose his mind. When he tried to attack Subaru, Wilhelm rushed in and took care of him. At this moment, Subaru realized that everyone feared reading the gospel book, but he couldn't read it himself. Wilhelm then explained to Subaru that the gospel was a thing to prove he was a member of the witch cult. While everyone thought the situation had been resolved, unexpected invisible hands began to appear and grabbed Subaru. At this moment, Subaru realized Petelgeuse was still alive, because he could transfer his soul into the bodies of his 10 lazy followers. As Petelgeuse was about to kill Subaru, Subaru noticed that he was terrified of the spirits in the forest. So Mimi and Wilhelm ran to continue dealing with him. At this moment, Subaru realized the lazy bishop was still alive and somewhere around. So Subaru and everyone continued running toward the mansion. But unexpectedly, everyone disappeared. When Subaru was controlled by the tree, he realized it was just an illusion. Suddenly, the spirit from before appeared and saved Subaru. Subaru realized that Julius had placed the spirit to protect him, and many people had fallen under the charm magic. Suddenly, someone appeared, intending to capture Subaru, but was blocked by Wilhelm. At this moment, Subaru realized that the attacker was Ram. Seeing Subaru with knights from other candidates, she thought Subaru had betrayed Emilia. So Subaru immediately explained to Ram and continued to head back to the village to help the villagers escape. But at this moment, all the villagers thought that Emilia was the reason the witch cult had come here, because she was a half-elf. Subaru understood why Emilia was hesitant to visit the village, so he stepped forward and told everyone to trust him and follow his orders. Suddenly, Ram spoke in Subaru's defense, and everyone agreed to listen to Subaru. At this point, a young girl told Subaru that the day before, Emilia had sensed danger and came to the village. Because no one would listen to her, Emilia had to reset the barrier stones to protect the village from the beasts. But suddenly, Felix discovered that witch cult members had infiltrated the village. When he was about to interrogate one of them, the person exploded, but fortunately, Subaru was protected by Julius's spirit, so he survived. At this moment, Subaru realized that the witch cult had attacked the village. Meanwhile, Wilhelm was fighting Petelgeuse. Although he had defeated him, he was also injured. So, Petelgeuse continued to possess another person. Subaru then used the gospel book to lure him into chasing after him. At this point, Subaru had stolen a barrier stone, causing the beastmen to surround and attack Petelgeuse. When only the last one remained, Emilia finally arrived, which made him very happy because their target was Emilia. But Emilia and Pack captured and froze him, surprising everyone in the village. At this moment, unexpectedly, he possessed Subaru. So Subaru immediately ran away. But he had already been controlled by Petelgeuse. This prevented Julius and Felix from acting. Despite this, Subaru still tried to resist him. So Subaru told both of them to kill him. Knowing that Subaru could no longer hold on, Julius had no choice but to end his life. Unexpectedly, when Subaru regained consciousness, he had returned to the moment when he was planning with everyone, preparing to fight against the witch cult. Subaru then informed everyone that the lazy bishop had the ability to possess his 10 most trusted subordinates, and even possess him, leaving everyone shocked. So at this moment, Wilhelm found Emilia, and informed her that Cruz had ordered him to evacuate the villagers because the village was in danger. But Emilia still felt very strange, wondering why Cruz would protect her village. Then Subaru, wrapped in a blanket, entered and urged the evacuation. So Emilia decided to go with everyone. When they reached the village, thanks to Subaru, Emilia realized that the children did not hate her at all, which made her very happy. After Subaru and the others had captured the cult spy, Emilia and the villagers were escorted by Wilhelm to leave. At this moment, Felix revealed that the reason they were able to leave so easily was because Subaru had asked the villagers on Emilia's behalf. So everyone trusted Subaru. At this point, Ricardo and Mimi had already attacked all 10 of his subordinates he could possess. But they mistakenly captured Otto, thinking he was also part of the witch cult. So Subaru went to meet Petelgeuse again. But this time, he said that he wanted to serve him, which caused Petelgeuse to become even more agitated. So he revealed to Subaru that the purpose of capturing Emilia this time was to make her a vessel for summoning the witch. So Subaru began his plan, surprising Petelgeuse, who immediately chased after him, thinking he would be captured by them. So Mimi and her sister immediately came to help Subaru, blocking Petelgeuse's subordinates. This frustrated him greatly, so Subaru led him to the cliff where he had once died. Since Subaru knew that his weakness was the spirit technique, Julius was also waiting here. When Petelgeuse attacked Julius, he easily blocked him, which made Petelgeuse even more frustrated. At this point, because Julius had used the technique to share vision with Subaru, he was able to see Petelgeuse's arms, which made Petelgeuse furious, as he continuously tried to grab Julius. But he was knocked away by Julius. With Subaru's support, Julius was able to defeat him. When Petelgeuse possessed Subaru, Subaru activated Satella's curse, so Petelgeuse was able to see the witch he revered. But when he realized that he wasn't Subaru, Satella expelled him, and because he was rejected by the witch he worshipped, Petelgeuse went mad, destroying the cliff and crushing himself to death. In the end, Subaru defeated the bishop, thinking everything had ended. He then heard news of a magic stone pouch explosion in Emilia's convoy. So Otto immediately took Subaru to chase after them. Unexpectedly, the bishop was still stubborn and kept following Subaru. When they left the forest, Subaru threw oil from the cart at him, and used Julius's spirit to burn him. Seeing that he still didn't give up, Subaru punched him in the face, and wrote the word, death, in the gospel book, causing him to disappear. At this moment, Wilhelm was blocking the witch cult, and he pointed out to Subaru to chase after Emilia's convoy. So Subaru caught up with her. When Emilia learned that Subaru was the one leading this purge, and didn't understand why Subaru kept helping her, he immediately appeared, took out the magic stone pouch, which surprised Emilia. Then he ran and threw the magic stone pouch into the carcass of the white whale. It exploded, which made Emilia very worried about Subaru. So she ran to find him. When Subaru regained consciousness, he realized he was lying on Emilia's lap. Seeing that everyone was safe, Subaru felt at ease. At this point, Subaru apologized to Emilia for the things he had said that day. Suddenly, Emilia asked why Subaru always helped her. Because I love you, Emilia, which made her very happy. That's all for today's video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to support Oni-chan in the next videos. Thank you all for watching. Forever love.